Can't hear you. Jaden, I don't know if you can hear me, but I can't hear you. How's everybody doing today? I'm gonna assume that everyone can hear me. Hopefully, I know he's went 27 minutes. I'm gonna actually reach out to him real quick. We're gonna pause the show for a second. We'll be right back at you. Sorry for technical difficulties. Appreciate everybody's patience. Well, it looks like Jaden can hear me. So I'm gonna roll for a little bit because I know we've been 28 minutes. Jaden's been talking to himself. That's all right though. We're figuring it out. We'll figure it out soon. And we appreciate everybody's time today. And hopefully you're having a good Wednesday. And I hope everybody went out and voted and everything like that. I'm not going to get into politics, but I hope everybody did that. And we'll see what the future looks like. I do want to talk about a little bit around recruiting stuff. I have some news around things going on, and I'm trying to do a better job of updating everybody. If you aren't aware, we have a website that's been reworked, bleedbluenetwork.com. You can go there and see a lot of the articles. Our great team of around 10 individuals are going on there on a daily basis and posting multiple links to the page around football, basketball, women's basketball. Those are the main sports going on right now. We're do volleyball as well. We're trying to get somebody to be able to go to those games and cover everything. So we're doing our best to have as much coverage as possible. And you can comment on the articles, which is really cool. And then we're also within the next couple of weeks, we're gonna have a message board. I would say similar to like Rivals and On3, like all those type of message boards where you can like post your own articles. So you'll be able to post things that you're hearing maybe around the sports. You can talk about whatever you would like. And it'll be a good forum for our fans to be able to just interact with each other. You'll be able to have your own username. It'll be a free message board where we won't be charging folks for it. It's just a good opportunity for you guys to interact even more. Also on the bleedbluenetwork.com website, you can see podcasts that's been recorded by a lot of our talent. A lot of the pregame shows and postgame shows, things like that. I know Rando does podcasts with Selena that get posted on there. And so it'll just have everything on there in one spot, which is really cool. It'll link to all the social media platforms that we're on so that you can give that a follow. It's just unlimited access to make your daily lives better when it comes to Kentucky sports. Now onto some recruiting things. If you were to get on Bleed Blue Network within the last couple of days, you would have saw that I posted an article around Samus Cauldron, which is visiting this weekend. Shout out to Jacob from KSR who broke those dates of when he was visiting. They do a great job of tracking that stuff down, and he will be visiting for the Bucknell game this Saturday. And so I think there's a good opportunity during that game after it's over that they sit down and kind of talk about like how he fits into our system. He's a small forward, 4-star. Depending on the rankings that you look at, it's anywhere from 35 to like 100. I would say he's an up and riser, like a late riser. Like he didn't have many offers months ago, and now like Kansas, Duke, and others are trying to get involved. And he will be teammates with Jasper this upcoming season at Overtime Elite. So I think there's a good opportunity that we try to put things in motion in which we can just try to show him the plan of how he fits into our system. He would be, technically right now we had 3 commitments. If we're able to lock him in, that would be our 4th. As you also know, if you get on the website, I've made it pretty clear that I feel really good about Caleb Wilson coming here. And I think they try to wrap that up by the end of the month. Last week I was told 3 weeks, and then earlier this week, after Acadian Lewis had committed to us on Saturday, I was told like within the next couple of weeks he would commit. He did come out on Monday and say that he was going to release the top 5, and so does that slow down that 2-week motion? I'm not sure, but there's just things in place in which I feel better about him being a Kentucky Wildcat than not. I do know that he had postponed the Arkansas visit, and maybe they try to get that back on schedule. Maybe he doesn't end up attending, but I just feel really good about Caleb Wilson as well. So if you lock down Caleb Wilson, then you lock down Cauldron, then now you have a 5-person recruiting class for 2025. I think getting both of them would put us at number one, right above Duke. I think it could go either way. Like Duke or Kentucky could be the number one class. Either way, we're the first or second. I think that just it's huge for Pope. A lot of people question that would he be able to come here and get the recruits that is needed to perform at the level of Kentucky. And right away, within like 3 months, he was able to show that he's able to do that. Not only that, he got him one of the top assistants in the area with Alvin Brooks leaving Baylor, and then he pulled Jason Hart in as well, and then he brought Cody with him from BYU. I mean, that's just three of the top guys right there when it comes to recruiting. They all have their specialties, and we're going to be on a lot more recruiting boards because of the offense that we run, and within the two exhibitions, and then we had our game the other night with Wright State. People are just excited about the offense, how it's not one-on-one, like it's always constant movement. You can get to the basket, you can shoot threes. It just allows the opportunity, and he plays 11 guys. I mean, if you can play, if you can put points on the board, if you can play defense, there will be opportunity for you to play at Kentucky. I think that just helps us for 2026. We're already in a lot of the recruits top fives when it comes to next year. And honestly, I think there's opportunity. One of the 2026 guys, Alex Constanza, which I've talked about multiple times, he's considering reclassifying. If he were to reclassify for 2025, it could be a late get that we get spring, which would put our recruiting class to 6. Then we would most definitely be the number one class. And then I still think that we could go out and get 2 transfers. Like Otega, for example, he was somebody that we assumed that we would have for at least 2 years. And the way he's played in the first 3 games, I'm telling you right now, he'll be a first round draft pick. I mean, he just will. I mean, if you look at how explosive he is, like his body alone, somebody compares him to Clint Azubuike, and I think that's a great comparison. He can get to the rim whenever he wants, and I know he has a glitch in his shot, but he is very successful from the 3-point range. Last year, he shot around 37%. This year, I know in the Wright State game, he was 2 for 2. So technically, he's shooting 100% right now. And the sky is the limit for him. Obviously, we're going to lose Jackson Robinson. Andrew Carr will be gone. Amari Williams will be gone. So that's 4 guys right there. I think Butler will be gone. So that's 5. That will definitely be losing. Even Kirk Christo will probably be gone. So that's 6. So even if you bring in a 6-person recruiting class, we're still young when it comes to Travis Perry. We got Colin Chandler, and then we have Trent Noah. So that's only 9 guys. Brandon Garrison would be a junior when he comes back. Ansley, if he came back, would be able to come back as a senior. And so I think there's an opportunity, and then Kobe Brea would be gone. So I think there's still opportunity to bring 2 or 3 transfers in. Just remember that the scholarships will go up to, I think it's 15. So we're going to be able to bring in 2 more people as well when it comes to that. And so, it's going to be a great time. And I'm excited for the future of Kentucky when it comes to recruiting. That obviously has already shown that that's not going to be an issue. Regarding that also is, we have the NIL still going on. So we are working on some other deals when it comes to getting more money in our NIL development. And so we're working with somebody behind the scenes on potentially having a couple more $1 million come in for basketball only. And then the NCAA is looking into the revenue share piece. I don't know if the election, holds that up when it comes to NCAA. I don't know how it works when it comes to putting policies in place. So there's more to come on that. But I do know that the NCAA is trying to figure it out so that we can have revenue sharing, which will be a max at like $22 million, which Kentucky will easily have the ability to use, and it'll help kind of equal the playing field. Whereas Kentucky would have a slight advantage because of how much we're on national TV when it comes to ESPN, CBS, ESPN2, like all those platforms pretty much for every game. I know on Monday we were on ESPNU. And so, Saturday, I don't know what platform we're on, but other schools don't have that ability to be on ESPN all the time, or SEC Network or CBS or ABC. They're on ESPN Plus. You have to pay additional fee. or their game's not televised at all, or it's an internet game where you got to get fans to pay $15 to watch it, and it's just not uh, a possibility. So again, we apologize for technical difficulties. I'm not sure if Jaden's volume earlier was working or not. I saw how many people we had, and if the 29 people could hear him that were listening at the time, then that's great. If not, then I'm not sure why the 29 people stayed on there. But thanks for your loyalty while we figure out the technical stuff. Paul's under the weather today. He'll be back tomorrow, hopefully, and we would definitely want to make these more interactive. And so, like, definitely utilize the text string that we have, and then you can message us on X and Instagram, TikTok at some point, and then hopefully down the road we'll be able to have a call-in show where if you want to ask a question live on there, you're able to do that, and that'll be a good opportunity to get more listeners involved. A lot of this is us talking what feels like to ourselves, but we know that a lot of you guys download this and listen to us later, and this will be on the website later on today, and so we definitely want you guys to listen to it, provide content of what you want to hear and what we're not doing that you want to see us do, and how we can just improve the experience for you. We're all in this for the fans. That's the only reason that we created this company and want to provide content is because it's all about the fans. We want to bring positive reinforcement to the Big Blue Nation, and we want to make sure that we're representing you guys well, so that it provides opportunity to see and hear what you want to hear. So definitely provide that feedback. You can ping me directly on X. It's Wildcats Joe 14. It'll show as Blue Joe. But I'd love to interact with fans. We've been doing spaces on the pregame, and then we do spaces sometimes at halftime during the basketball games. And then we've even done a watch party for the football game last weekend, which had thousands of people watching at any given time. And so anytime we can interact with you guys, we definitely want to, and we appreciate the loyalty that you've brought so far. Let's see what else is going on. So Bucknell, they are 1-0. They defeated Delaware the other night. They have another game tomorrow. They're playing like Southern Indiana, like Edwardsville or something. And obviously I think they'll win that game. They'll be 2-0 coming in on Saturday. They actually returned 4 starters from last year's team. They did lose their overall top scorer, but they bring back some experience. And Bucknell's always a team that shows up in the tournament. They may not make it every year, but Bucknell's just a common name of a team that's always in the tournament. I could see this team being a tournament team. So I think this Saturday will be a true test. The issue with Bucknell is they don't score a lot of points. They try to play hard-nosed defense, and they are averaging around 60 points a game. And I just don't know if they have the manpower to put up 80, 90 points like we obviously more than likely will do. And so it'll be interesting to see how we adapt to the style that Bucknell plays, where they slow it down, kind of get a shot that they want. They do have a 7-footer. It's Jonas Valenzuela, in which he averaged 13 points a game last year, almost a double-double. And then the other night he had double-digit scoring. He's 7 foot. I mean, he's straight up, and he can shoot threes. He shoots at a 37% clip. And so that'll be interesting to see how Amari Williams guards him. I don't think that'll be an issue. Amari's in a lot better shape when it comes to just stamina and his physical appearance. And so I think he'll cause some trouble. And but they have other guys too. Like I said, they brought back 4 stars. Mata is another good one. He came off the bench last year as a 6th man. He was their leading scorer the other day, over 20 points. And so I'm excited to see how we do against Bucknell. And then obviously next week we'll play Duke, and that'll be exciting as well. From the Kentucky forefront, we're on a bye this Saturday. And then after this week, we'll play Murray State next weekend. But I think this bye comes at a really good time. We're really banged up when it comes to our team overall. I mean, obviously, when you looked at the depth chart the other day, we had like 20 people out of the game. And so I think it just gives an opportunity for us to rest the bodies and get a better understanding how Barry Brown's doing off the rib injury, and then also Brock from the head injury. Hopefully, with 2 weeks, no hard hitting, and be able to get into treatment and work that out, that we'll be in a better spot when it comes to our injury report as well. So, I wish somebody would jump on here and ask some questions. I kind of jumped on here to talk a little bit about recruiting, but all right, Jaden's still having some technical difficulties here, so I'm just gonna keep talking and to myself. As long as you don't answer yourself, I'm okay. So that's the good news. I wish I could get some text around questions, but that's all right. I thought the women's team looked really good the other day. They came out, they had a 17-point lead after the first quarter. There's just a lot of positive ness around the women's program that I've never seen since you know our old coaches just didn't really bring a lot of energy to it. I know Elza, that was the coach before, she got let go, but there just wasn't a lot of positive swag around the women's program, and it was good to see Memorial Coliseum the other night pretty much sold out. It actually did sell out all season tickets for the year, which is the first I've heard of in a long time. And so it's just cool to see the support around the women's program. I really like the team. I think they're easily a top 25 team all year. That will, probably get some upsets here and there. But, when you got an All-American on the squad, I mean, she didn't get first team All-American, but, she just brings a lot of quality from Virginia Tech, and I'm excited to see how they play this year. And we got a great freshman class as well. Basketball, obviously, the minutes were pretty much evenly contributed and distributed the other day. And, on average, people were only playing around 20 minutes. That'll change against Bucknell a little more. I think you'll see the starting lineup probably get around 32 minutes. What that does is, like Kerr Krista, you got Garrison, Ansley, those folks will, instead of getting 20 minutes like they got the other day, they'll probably only get about 12. And then folks like Travis Perry, Trent Noah won't get as much playing time unless it's kind of 20, 30-point game, and then they'll get in, the last 5 minutes or so. The reason I think the starters will play a lot more minutes is, for one, to build up their stamina, because against Duke, they're not going to be able to sub out as much. They'll be playing a lot of the game. So you got to get them in game shape when it comes to playing a full 32, 35 minutes of a 40-minute game. And you got to collectively figure out, like, who is your best five. I know a lot of people don't like to look at the plus or minuses, but that is a huge tell. Like the other night when you had Lamont Butler, you had Otega, you had Jackson, Robinson, Andrew Carr, and Amari in. Their plus minuses were like 30 points. I mean, that's a huge difference. Although, like, I think Kobe Brea and Brandon Garrison can also step in and play a good role within the team. Their plus or minuses is only 20, and it may not seem like a huge difference, but I would rather be up 30 than 20. And so you just got to kind of look at where the minutes get distributed. And I just don't think there's enough for everybody long term, where we're always going to be playing 11 or 12 guys. I just don't think that's realistic. It's not fair to, Otega or Lamont to only play 20 minutes, and, they play 10 minutes and then they have to sit out, and then their body gets all, you start, I don't know if you've ever played basketball before, but, you're sitting there playing 10 minutes, you get a good sweat going, your body feels pretty good, you're loose, and then you'll sit on the bench. Well, now when you sub back in, you got to get loose again. Some people can do it really easily, some people can't. And so I think there's just a opportunity for us to play them a little longer. And so look forward to seeing Saturday Lamont. I think Lamont, Otega, Jackson, Carr, and Amari probably play about 32 minutes. I'd say Kobe Brea and Garrison will play around 20. And then you got Ansley and Colin Chandler, I say, would play maybe 8 to 10. with the Trent and Travis kind of a little bit after that, getting a little bit of minutes. Krista, I keep going back and forth. I think he definitely gets minutes. I think he's an 8 to 12 minute guy. I don't see him playing 20 minutes unless Butler were to get in like foul trouble or something like that. Then I can easily see Krista getting in there more and playing more. Um, I just think Lamont defensively brings more to the table. I think he can get to the lane whenever he wants. I do say that Krista does a great job contributing the basketball across all platforms when it comes to he's very unselfish. There was multiple times he had a wide open layup or jump shot, and he did a good shot, better shot. Although I think a layup is a better shot than a kick out to three. He's that unselfish where he saw Brea. He knew he was 3 for 3 at the time. He hadn't missed. Basically, it's like throwing a ball into the ocean, and so he kicked it out. Brea shoots it, pulls a Steph Curry, doesn't even have to watch it go in because he was just on fire that night. I mean, he led the nation in 3 point percentage last year. People were questioning it this year, but he right away went 4 for 4, leads the nation in 3 point shooting with 100%. He just looked good. I mean, a lot of our guys look good. I talked to several Kentucky fans, especially at my workplace, around how they feel after the first game compared to how do they feel after last year. There was several different things that people brought up, which I definitely can talk about. That I thought was also interesting when it came to just, I guess, the emotion that people feel from Cal being gone now. So I want to definitely hit on that now. Sorry, gotta get some H2O. I don't have somebody sub out and talk a little bit. I'm not used to talking this much. So comparisons. So for one, I'll say I love Cal. I didn't want to see him go. I did think it was time for a change. So when he decided to leave, I supported him. When he comes back to Kentucky, I won't boo him. Kentucky Arkansas game, but obviously I want to always see Arkansas lose because I don't like Arkansas. I also think 10 years from now, Cal will come back. Fans will be similar to Rick Pitino, kind of over themselves and cheer him, and he'll always have a special place in my heart and other Kentucky fans' heart. And saying that, a lot of feedback I got from a lot of Kentucky fans was like, I thought our offense was stale last year. I thought Cal communication to the fans compared to when he first started, when John Wall, Eric Bledsoe, Derek Cousins, or DeMarcus Cousins, and them were our first class with Daniel Orton and everybody. There was a lot more positive energy around, a lot more opportunity to kind of be a part of it. Where you had Big Blue Madness with the John Wall dance and things like that, and a lot of the players kept coming back and interacting with fans. The last 4 or 5 years that kind of disappeared. I think it starts with Dwayne Peavy. A lot of people don't like to talk about it, but when Peavy left and went to DePaul, Peavy was like Cal's right hand. He had the respect of Cal, he had the confidence of Cal, and he was able to explain to Cal, like, hey, like, we need you to do these appearances, or hey, like, don't talk about this, don't talk about that. And kind of kept it grounded. And like when he went to DePaul, that kind of disappeared. Obviously, we had other guys step into that role, but they just didn't have the respect or Cal didn't listen to their advice as much. And so I think that's kind of where it all started for me when I look back. A lot of other fans talked about, the offense being stale. It was a dribble drive type thing where it was one-on-one more get yourself open, not good shot, better shot. And with Pope, there's constant movement. There's great passes. Like, I mean, you just don't see somebody trying to go one-on-one off the dribble every time. There's lots of passes. They're constantly moving. They're setting screens for each other, doing backdoor screens. They're doing backdoors. I mean, so much so that Amari Williams got 2 turnovers the other night because he was trying to signal somebody to go back door. They had it wide open. They just didn't happen to do it. He passed it anyways, assuming they were going to, because they're playing for each other. And it's pretty awesome to see. Another thing that fans had mentioned is out of bounds plays, for example, or out of bounds defenses. Last year and the year before that, it seemed like we got scored on or dunked on almost at every out of bounds play. We never had a play to get it in that was successful. And then this year already, like almost every out of bounds play under the basket I've seen has led to a wide open shot. And on defense, we've pretty much handled it and stopped everybody that's trying to do any type of their plays. So like, there's just, I know that's small things, but like those were small frustrations that people were having around simple basketball. Like I coach high school basketball right now, right? So I literally was at a school for 4 years. They were all freshmen. So we had 8 freshmen. Yeah, they had played basketball before, but they didn't really know much of the fundamental side. So it took us a couple years. Well, by the time senior year, junior and senior year came, they knew all the fundamentals. They knew how to play defense. They knew how to help side, talk, call out screens, like all the fundamental stuff that people don't really think about, deflections. And junior and senior year, we were rolling. I mean, we were rolling so much that out of 316 schools, we made it to semi-state. The senior year, we lost by 7, and the team that beat us ended up winning the state title. Well, now I'm coaching a team, River City, that I have 5 freshmen, I have 3 sophomore, I have 1 junior, 1 senior that also don't know the game of basketball because they've never had organized ball before. And so me as a coach, and I got a couple other coaches, we were running simple out of bounds plays and scoring at will on these guys because they didn't know what position to be in. And it felt like in Cal's defense last year, a lot of times people were always out of position. Not only that, but you never saw people calling out screens, no help side. It was like basically I'm guarding this guy in front of me. I don't care what's happening beside me or behind me. As long as I guard this guy, that's all I'm worried about. And so you saw back doors happen. You saw back screens happen. I don't know how many times during the Vandy game last year that they had almost ripped the rim off because of backdoor dunks that they got off. And it's just frustrating for the fans to constantly see that happening. And so a lot of the fans now are saying, hey, we're playing defense. We got energy. We got 11 guys that can sub in and out, 12, honestly. And we're playing an offense that people enjoy to watch, constant moving around. They're playing for each other. They're getting really good shots off. It's not one-on-one ball. They're interacting with fans on X, and like they basically we're at an all-time high right now. That's why I've been telling people just enjoy it. People were wanting a change. They got the change. I know at first we wasn't sure on Pope. I mean, he's definitely won everybody over. He's not only a great person, but he communicates very well. He's willing to do anything. You can see the relationships that he has built with his players in a short time notice. And I'm excited to have somebody like that leading our program. I think he's a great husband and father. Like you can just see the love that he has amongst his wife and the kids, and he gives back to the community, and just a real awesome guy. I mean, even the Tom Hart and then we're talking about like how they rode in the car with him over to the game the other night and how open he was around the program and like the opportunity. You saw the fans stick around after the game. They never do that, especially on a work night. All the fans almost stuck around and participated in that ceremony that they did for him with the plaque for his first win at Kentucky. Mitch brought that out. It was really cool. He played here. He understands it. He knows that our fan base is crazy and he wants to do well. And I think that's what's different. Like the fans now can relate with somebody a little more. We know that he knows what we expect, and he knows that we will tell him when we're not satisfied. And he's actually openly said, hey, if I'm not doing a good job, I want to hear about it, because he's just as passionate as we are. And I think we're going to continue to see the style of basketball that he's been bringing in. And I'm just excited to see it. Again, the game is this Saturday against Bucknell. I hope that you go and support. I was kind of sad to see like we didn't really sell out the game the other night, but I understand it was a weekday. So I fully understand people not wanting to do that. But this is on Saturday. There's no reason the game shouldn't be sold out. There should be hardly any empty seats. You can get on Ticketmaster and SeatGeek and all those and try to find open tickets. If you can't go to the game, like put it on X or Facebook and give them away. Like make sure that the seats get filled, and make sure Pope knows that we're there to support them, and the players know that we're there to support them. And let's keep the positive momentum going. I mean, it's a great thing. We got a great group of kids. They're a very experienced team that, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. We never really had that here. We're also always having freshmen. So it's just really cool to see the experience that we brought in. Nothing but shooters. I mean, we literally have 9 to 10 shooters at any given moment that can hit a three. Even Amari Williamson step back and hit a three. Garrison can hit threes. I've never seen anything like it. It's pretty awesome. Even like Andrew Carr the other day, he shot a three, missed it. They got the rebound. He was wide open, kicked it right back out, and then he drained it. I'll take 50% every day of the week, twice on Sundays. So we appreciate the support. Again, we apologize for all the technical difficulties that's happened. We're getting used to this, and we appreciate everybody's patience with it. The only way that you can grow in a media company or organization is to fail forward. And that's what we're doing. That's why we also want to hear your feedback on things that we can do that can be better for each of you. Again, we appreciate all the support. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Go Cats. We'll see you.